What's going on YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Money Moves with K. I am K, and today we're going to talk about secret websites to find properties for $1,000, okay? They vary in price, so all of them will not be $1,000, but I do want to give you all the tools and resources necessary to find these properties. As you can see, I'm not in my normal location of where I film my videos, my office. I am on vacation. We are celebrating my birthday, July 3rd. Make sure you grab the tax auction course before July 3rd. This is the last sale of the year. So I'm not doing another sale on the course probably ever again, or at least I know for 2025 for sure. So make sure you grab the tax auction course. But for right now, we're going to talk about where you can find these properties for $1,000. And it's called a land bank. So basically cities around the country do land banks. These are properties that are blighted, and the goal of the property, or excuse me, the goal of the city is to bring these properties back to life, which will bring the community back to life, okay? I'll discuss at the very end of the video some pros and cons about investing in land banks and what you would need as an investor if you're interested in a land bank investing in order to proceed with the process, okay? So make sure you stay towards the end of the video so I can give you some resources and tools so you know what you need in order to start investing in land bank property. But for right now, let's go ahead and get started. So the very first website I want to discuss is the Detroit Land Bank Authority, all right? Detroit Land Bank Authority. Make sure, well, I'll place the website right here at the bottom of the screen, but you can also just simply Google Detroit Land Bank Authority and it'll pull up these properties for you, okay? So these are all properties for $1,000 on this page. Now they do vary in price, as I mentioned in the very beginning of the video, but these right here are $1,000, okay? And this is an auction, this is the starting bid. Again, I'll discuss at the very end what you need to do in order to even invest in these properties in these particular cities that I'll discuss. And these are not the only cities. I'll discuss about 3 of them today, but there are a ton of them. And there is a difference between investor-friendly land banks and not investor-friendly land banks. So keep that in mind, all right? So you can see they vary in price. And this one actually looks like it was renovated in some sort, right? But a lot of these are in places where the property is not in good shape, or maybe not in the best of neighborhood. And sometimes they are. Sometimes they're on an up and coming neighborhood. And I actually discussed in one of my videos, so I'll try to link it below, where you can decide how to know when a neighborhood is up and coming. Okay. So that's the time to kind of get in to a property or try to invest in an area when there's been a turnaround for the area, whether there be jobs, different companies coming into the area will bring a boost to sales, okay? So again, this is the Detroit Land Bank Authority. These prices vary in price. However, I did want to show you that first page where they do start, and second page too, they do sell properties for $1,000. That is the starting bid, all right? So it's an auction style, or this one says you can own it now. So there are various ways you can go about this, an auction, or you can just simply kind of purchase it. So you have to do your due diligence. Of course, I always stress do your due diligence on each and every one of my videos where I talk about properties. Now, let me click on this one. It says demo pool. Let's see. Okay. Not ready and not moving ready, sold as is, where is, see buyer requirements. So make sure you read everything as well, because there are some questions that you may have, and this video that's only 10 minutes long may not answer all of those questions. So get in contact with the Detroit Land Bank. They actually make the process, a lot of these land banks and these websites make the process very easy to understand. I've gone on various websites and I'm like, man, I really understand the process of how you too can, purchase one of these properties and what to do next, because there are some stipulations to a land bank. For the most part, I would say 9 times out of 10 there is a stipulation, and I'll go over those stipulations, a little bit of them, at the very end of the video. But I did want to show you this one. This is Detroit Land Bank Authority. That's number 1. So the second one I want to talk about as an investor friendly land bank is Cook County. So Cook County is in Illinois, and They have various prices for the properties as well. So again, you go to the Cook County Land Bank Authority, just search that and it'll pull it up for you. You have some properties down here for $2,500. They sell a variation of residential properties and actual pieces of land. So make sure you look at the parcel ID, look it up. Go on the GIS. I talk about all that in the course to how to do that, how to do your due diligence. I talk about in the course. So make sure you grab it before July 3rd. That's the last day of the sale. And you have to just pull all the information about this property and see if it's even a good deal to proceed, right? So the minimum offer here is $2,500, and this is only land. And they give you everything you need to know. There's an application process. I'll talk about that at the very end as well. It says offers due by July 24th, 3 p.m. They give you all the information you need. I thought Detroit did a little bit better job of like outlining everything. But that honestly is on the home page, and I didn't show you the home page. Okay, here we go. So I like this setup a little better. And you can search up here if you had an actual address in mind. You can search, but for the most part, most of us may not even invest in these areas. So we're just taking a little a look at these properties, okay? This is actually a commercial property on here as well. So I know you've seen in neighborhoods where you see maybe an old restaurant that was there and it's boarded up now and it's been there for a while and nobody's grabbed or scooped it up. So these are opportunities for you to get into commercial real estate as well, which is, it's a hidden gem, guys. It's a hidden gem. In fact, that's kind of maybe the direction I want to go is commercial properties, because you can do so much with a commercial property, okay? So yeah, check out Cook County Land Bank Authority. All right, so that's number 2. The third one I want to talk about is Syracuse, okay? So the Greater Syracuse Land Bank. This is in New York. So these properties vary in price as well. The stipulations and the directions and the process varies as well. Not all of these cities have the same process to attain one of these land bank properties, okay? So it says it's eligible for historic tax credit. I don't even know what that is for Syracuse, but if you're interested in Syracuse, I would definitely look it up. It's zone MX1. Oh, zoning is very important too, because zoning allows you to know what you can and cannot do with that property. And because it does sound like it's in a historic district, you may have some stipulations on color of the property and different rules and regulations. I'm not sure, but that's my best guess. Anything that's in a historic district, they try to preserve the history of it, right? So they don't want to, you probably couldn't go in and paint this pink or red or a different color than what's in the actual neighborhood, because they're trying to preserve some of the history of that particular property. But I could be wrong. I don't necessarily know, but I do know in a lot of different areas, they do require that you kind of keep things the same or have some guidelines that you need to stay in, some boundaries, okay? So this particular property is $10,000. Let's go back. You have some land. This is 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, $15,000, okay? This is in Syracuse. Let's see some pictures, if it'll pull up. Here we go. Okay. So it looks like it has some history as well. MX1. It says expect at least $350,000 to $500,000 in renovation. So this property needs a lot of renovation. Buyer must provide bank statement with at least $100,000 or pre-approval for financing for at least $350,000 to $500,000 prior to scheduling a showing. So let's get into the stipulations. Most land banks will require that you have proof of funds. So in this particular case, they're saying that you either have to have that in your bank account, that amount of money, the renovation cost, or you have to have a loan saying that you are qualified to receive that amount of money in renovation costs. If you don't have that, they're not even going to show you the property, because you're a tire kicker. A tire kicker is somebody who is just browsing. They're just kind of window shopping, and they're not a serious buyer because they don't actually have the cash, okay? Whether it be from a bank or actually in their bank account. Another thing, typically with land banks, they want you to do these renovations within a specific amount of time, typically 6 to 12 months. But of course, you need to look at each and every land bank to see what is the timeline that you need to have this renovation completed. Excuse me. A lot of these land banks do not really allow you to flip these, a lot of these land banks don't allow you to flip any of these properties. And that's going for land banks there that are investor friendly and that are not, okay? Because they really want you to invest in the community to make it better, right? So coming in, renovating it, and then flipping it to sell it, they're not too keen on that, okay? So keep that in mind. Let's see, what else? So proof of funds, they may ask you to do a background check to make sure you are legit. They want the redevelopment plan, okay? They want that outline to show what you're expecting to do with the property, okay? So they want you to be G to G, good to go and very legit. Let's see. Yeah, I think I went over the key components of what they need. A lot of times that proof of funds is the kicker for a lot of folks, because you can't just go in and say, well, I want to do this. Well, they need to know you are invested and you have the money to do it, okay? So keep those things in mind. That's the end of my video. Thank you so very much for sticking around to this point of the video. Oh, by the way, if you're interested in my experience at this 5-star resort or any other of my hotel lodging, I do have a second channel called K Stays. I have a second channel called K Stays. I'll put it on the screen. You can check it out. I already did one video. It's dropped, and it's just typically talking about all of my hotel stays. We really love to travel, and I kind of give you my honest review of each and every one of my hotel stays, all right? If you made it this far in the video, go ahead below and put land bank. It allows me to know that you made it this far in the video, and I do appreciate it. Until next time, guys, you stay blessed. Peace.